Tonight, breaking news, the new video. Those two lawmakers shot, their spouses shot too. Two dead, the new images of the suspect at their door disguised as an officer wearing that realistic latex mask. Also tonight, Diane Sawyer is here, the first television interview with Grey's Anatomy star Dane amid his battle with ALS. First tonight, the suspect in the deadly shootings, two lawmakers and their spouses all shot, two dead. The suspect, Vance Bolter, now facing state and federal charges tonight. Prosecutors calling it the stuff of nightmares, that he stalked his prey. And now we learn of the reported list, and that the suspect, a husband and father, allegedly went to 4 homes that night. Surveillance allegedly showing the suspect disguised as an armed police officer wearing that latex mask, banging on the door. And what's now been found tonight. Also on this Monday night, the deadly flash flooding sweeping right into an apartment building, part of the building collapsing. At least 6 people now dead from the floods, others still missing tonight. Cars underwater. And now severe storms in the middle of the country moving right into the Northeast. Lee Goldberg has the forecast. Overseas tonight, the escalating war between Israel and Iran tonight. Israel targeting Iran state TV live on the air. The anchor running from the set, Iran striking residential apartments inside Israel. And tonight, our Jon Karl right here, one-on-one with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And John asks Netanyahu if they will target Iran's supreme leader. That answer making global headlines tonight. Back in the U.S., the breaking news in the case of actor Matthew Perry, what the Justice Department just revealed tonight. In New York City, the terrifying scene at the courthouse, surveillance showing the moment 2 court officers are slashed at the metal detectors. And the Diane Sawyer exclusive tonight, Diane with Grey's Anatomy star Dane, his role, those iconic scenes known by millions of fans. Tonight here, his emotional first television interview since revealing his battle with ALS, what he can no longer move and what he fears next. And the most important thing for him now in this deeply personal fight.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight here with the chilling new images after that horrific shooting of 2 Minnesota state lawmakers. Their spouses shot too. One couple was shot and killed. The other couple shot multiple times. They have survived this. Tonight, prosecutors are now calling this a political assassination, and tonight they're describing this as the stuff of nightmares, that he stalked his prey. A security camera at one of the lawmakers' homes capturing images of the suspect wearing a latex mask and an officer's badge. Tonight, we have also now learned the suspect allegedly went to 4 homes that night, posing as an officer. Tonight, he is in custody. At one home, former Minnesota House Speaker Democrat Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark were both killed. At another home, State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were shot multiple times. They somehow survived this. Tonight, we have learned at the 4th home where the Hortmans were shot and killed, the suspect fled while officers responding were opening fire. And he left behind his vehicle with flashing lights, authorities believe all part of his disguise. Inside the vehicle, they found rifles, ammunition, a list of more than 45 elected officials. After nearly 2 days of searching, the suspect was tracked to this remote spot near his home. And when it became clear he was surrounded, authorities say 57-year-old Vance Bolter, a husband and father, surrendered, crawling across that field to the officers waiting for him. Tonight, he's facing state and federal charges. ABC's Faith Abubey leading us off. She's in Minneapolis tonight.
Tonight, authorities calling this man, Vance Bolter, a cold-blooded killer after he allegedly stalked, surveilled, and shot 2 longtime Minnesota state lawmakers and their spouses, triggering the largest manhunt in state history.
It is no exaggeration to say that his crimes are the stuff of nightmares. Bolter stalked his victims like prey.
Bolter appearing before a judge today where prosecutors revealed chilling new details of a, quote, targeted political assassination designed to inflict fear, injure, and kill members of the Minnesota legislature and their families.
This was a targeted attack against individuals who answered the call to public service.
Court documents say the 57-year-old husband and father started his alleged murderous rampage around 2 a.m., disguised as a police officer and heavily armed with firearms and body armor. Bolter also wearing what authorities call a hyper-realistic mask made of latex, driving an SUV decked out in emergency lights and a license plate that read police. Investigators say this is Bolter banging on the door of Democrat State Senator John Hoffman, shouting, "Police, open up." The senator and his wife realizing he was an imposter.
When Senator Hoffman attempted to push Belter out and stop him from entering his home, Belter shot him repeatedly.
Their front door riddled with bullets, the senator's daughter calling 911, setting off the massive manhunt. Bolter allegedly driving to the home of another elected official. Investigators say this surveillance shows him at the door, that lawmaker not home. Bolter then allegedly driving to his third target 5 miles away, where court documents say an officer saw Bolter in his car while conducting a wellness check on the state senator who lived there and believed that the SUV was in fact a law enforcement officer. By the time backup arrived, Bolter had left the scene. Officials say around 3:30 a.m., Bolter heading to his fourth stop, the home of former Minnesota House Speaker Democrat Melissa Hortman. Officers were also there doing a wellness check. A neighbor capturing the showdown from her window as Bolter allegedly fired several rounds at police, forcing himself into the home.
He repeatedly fired into the house, and when he entered, he murdered Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark.
Police say Bolter escaped on foot. Authorities tonight sharing what they found inside that car. Assault-style rifles, several rounds of ammunition, and a medical kit suggesting Bolter may have planned to be on the run for a while.
Belter also had in his car notebooks containing a list of more than 45 Minnesota state and federal elected officials, including Representative Hortman.
Authorities tonight say Bolter extensively planned his rampage for months, including making lists like this one, identifying several websites that allow users to search for home addresses and family member names. Bolter captured late Sunday, just an hour from the crime scene and roughly a mile from his home, spotted earlier by an officer and on this trail camera obtained by our affiliate KSTP.
We have an arrest warrant.
Police using a loudspeaker ordering him to surrender.
Stand up with your hands empty and above your head.
And David, investigators believe this was a complex and chilling plan to kill public officials. 45 lawmakers on that alleged target list, mostly or all Democrats. Had it not been for some intuitive officers, they say this could have been much worse. David.
Faith Abubey there in Minneapolis for us. Faith, thank you. Next tonight, the deadly flash flood threat. 12 million Americans on alert again tonight from Missouri to West Virginia to North Carolina. The flooding deadly already and rushing water sweeping into an apartment building. Part of the building then collapsing. 4 inches of rain in 30 minutes near Wheeling, West Virginia. At least 6 people have died there. In Fairmount, West Virginia, families racing to escape that apartment building. Floodwaters ripping the back of the building right off. And the new system tonight, heavy winds and rain in St. Cloud, Minnesota, the middle of the country. Then this is heading right to the northeast. Lee Goldberg has the forecast and Alex Perez with the images tonight.
Tonight, families from West Virginia to the Carolinas on alert for more floods that have already killed at least 6 people and brought horrifying scenes like this. A flash flood emergency in Fairmount, West Virginia, raging waters tearing through this apartment building. Mother of 4, Tiffany Martin, says the building started collapsing as she raced to get out.
How lucky do you feel to be here right now?
So lucky. I'm here for a reason, clearly, and it's my children.
The back wall gone, water cascading off the roof. Thankfully, everyone got out okay. But in Ohio County, West Virginia, authorities say at least 6 people have died since the storms began there Saturday. Up to 4 inches of rain falling in half an hour, leaving Logan and Jenna Pickens little time to get out of their home.
The water was already halfway up my truck, so we didn't have any time to grab anything. I mean, we have no clothes, no nothing.
And David, you can see what's left of that apartment building behind me here. This community still on high alert. There's a flood watch in effect through tonight. David?
Alex, thank you. Let's get right to that. Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg tracking it all for us again tonight. Hi, Lee.
David, rounds of heavy rain from West Virginia for the next 3 days. Flood watches are up from Missouri to the mid-Atlantic, but from Charleston to Roanoke to Raleigh, training thunderstorms could cause up to 5 inches of rain. To the severe zone, tornado watch across parts of Minnesota. A multi-vortex tornado is on the ground northwest of Brainerd. Could be a dangerous night in Minneapolis. Slow-moving front, so that means the storms creep into the plains tomorrow. The threat will be from Wichita to Kansas City. Over the next few days, it's Oklahoma City, Chicago, and Detroit, then to the East Coast right here in New York City Thursday. David?
We'll track it right here with you, Lee. Thank you. Now to the escalating war in the Middle East tonight, Israel and Iran, the death toll climbing on both sides. Israel targeting Iran's state TV live on the air, and you'll see the anchor running from the studio. And Iran striking apartment buildings in Tel Aviv. Multiple civilians have died. Our chief foreign correspondent, Pannell, on the scene in Tel Aviv tonight.
This is the moment Israel targeted Iranian state TV live on the air. The terrified anchor running for cover as smoke and debris filled the studio. The building up in flames. This reporter with bloodied hands rushing outside, blasting Israel's attack. The Israeli military claiming the station is at the heart of the regime's communications, saying residents were warned to evacuate. Israel also bombing Iranian F-14 fighter jets, claiming it now controls the skies over Iran. But the Iranians unleashing their own blistering missile barrage into the heart of Israel. Videos posted online showing deadly strikes on residential apartments, eviscerating parts of downtown Tel Aviv.
You can see the devastating impact of this Iranian ballistic missile strike. This was a residential apartment block, not a military target, and it's been totally devastated.
The pre-dawn attack leaving residents in shock.
The building shook. It was a big bang. It fell.
At least 24 people killed in Israel, more than 220 in Iran, in a deadly conflict that shows no signs of ending.
David, President Trump just urging all residents of Tehran to evacuate immediately. It's not clear what this means, but the US deploying fresh military assets to the region without delay. David?
Pannell from Tel Aviv, Ian, thank you. Tonight, ABC News one-on-one with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu from an undisclosed location in Israel. Our Jon Karl asking Netanyahu if Israel will target Iran's supreme leader. Netanyahu's answer making global headlines tonight.
Today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told me Israel won't rule out an attempt to assassinate Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei.
Are you going to target the supreme leader?
Look, we're doing what we need to do. I'm not going to get into the details.
U.S. officials tell ABC News President Trump had rejected an Israeli plan to attack the supreme leader.
Do you understand his concern? My understanding is his concern is that this would escalate the conflict beyond where it is already.
It's not going to escalate the conflict. It's going to end the conflict.
John, this was really something. Prime Minister Netanyahu appearing to leave open the possibility of targeting Iran's supreme leader.
David, he made it very clear that targeting the supreme leader for assassination is very much on the table. He also dismissed reports that Iran is seeking an end to hostilities and a resumption of those nuclear talks. He told me those would be fake talks at this point that Iran would use to lie, cheat, and string along the United States.
Right.
David?
Jon Karl with the interview tonight. John, thank you. President Trump, meanwhile, with world leaders at the G7 summit in Canada, speaking on the Israel-Iran war with a message for Iran.
They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
So let's bring in Rachel Scott reporting live from the G7. And Rachel, the leaders there putting together a statement tonight urging de-escalation between Israel and Iran. President Trump refusing to sign on?
Yes, David, the world leaders gathered here for the G7 summit have been working on that draft, calling for de-escalation between Israel and Iran. I'm told by a U.S. official that the president has no plans to sign that agreement because he's already made his position publicly very clear. And David, tonight, in a very unexpected turn, we are learning that the president is leaving the G7 summit early. The press secretary saying that he's going to be leaving tonight and heading back to Washington, D.C., given the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. David.
Rachel Scott reporting live from the G7 tonight. Rachel, thank you. When we come back here, the breaking news in the case of actor Matthew Perry tonight, what we've learned from the DOJ, and the Diane Sawyer exclusive tonight. Diane with Grey's Anatomy star Eric Dane. His role, those iconic scenes known by millions of fans. Tonight, right here, his emotional first television interview since revealing his battle with ALS and the most important thing for him now in this deeply personal fight. In a moment here. Tonight, there's news in the case involving the death of actor Matthew Perry. You'll remember he died of a ketamine overdose in October of 2023. Tonight, the Justice Department now saying Dr. Salvador Plasencia, one of 2 doctors accused of supplying the actor with the drug, has agreed to plead guilty to 4 counts of distribution of ketamine. The charge carries a maximum sentence of 40 years in federal prison. Tonight in New York, a disturbing attack at the criminal courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Authorities say surveillance video shows 2 court officers slashed by a suspect while scanning people into the building. One officer cut in the face, the other on the neck. The suspect in custody. The officers are in stable condition. When we come back here, Diane Sawyer's exclusive interview with Grey's Anatomy star Eric Dane. His battle with ALS in this interview is deeply moving. To the index, Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani making his long-awaited return against the Padres tonight, pitching for the first time since injuring his arm in August 2023 when he was with the Angels. Also, first time pitching for the Dodgers tonight. Reports prices for tonight's game have soared 174%. New U.S. Open champ J.J. Spaun celebrating the putt of a lifetime. Playing through the rain, the 18th and final hole right here. He sank a 64-foot putt, a come-from-behind win. Look at that. His first major. Spaun tonight calling it a fairy tale ending, and it was. When we come back here tonight, Diane Sawyer and Grey's Anatomy star Eric Dane. His battle with ALS and what's most important to him in this moment.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir. Sponsored by the powerful allergy relief of Claritin. Claritin clears.
Finally tonight, Diane Sawyer's deeply moving interview with Grey's Anatomy star Eric Dane amid his battle with ALS. His determination, his bravery.
There he is, the blue eyes, the sly smile. Eric Dane arrives at Grey's Anatomy. It doesn't take long before he'll be immortalized as Dr. McSteamy. He became a star and stunned the 23 million people who were watching this scene.
Oh, this is awkward.
And now, this 52-year-old man we all know is walking into the room.
This is wonderful, and you are tall.
I am tall.
Yeah. It helps, doesn't it?
I like it.
He is here to talk about his shattering medical diagnosis, so that anyone else who receives the same news will know they're not alone.
Take me back to the first thing that made you concerned, worried, baffled. Where did it begin?
I started experiencing some weakness in my right hand. And I didn't really think anything of it. At the time, I thought maybe I'd been texting too much or my hand was fatigued. But a few weeks later, I noticed it had gotten a little worse. So I went and saw a hand specialist who sent me to another hand specialist. I went and saw a neurologist, and the neurologist sent me to another neurologist and said, this is way above my pay grade.
Finally, after 9 months, the crushing reality. He is told he has the incurable disease that progressively kills the nerves that connect to your muscles, affecting your arms, legs, speech, breathing. In the end, for so many, paralysis while your mind is still acute. It's called ALS.
I will never forget those 3 letters. It's on me the second I wake up.
It's not a dream.
It's not a dream. No. I have one functioning arm. My dominant side
is your right side.
Yeah, my left side is functioning. My right side is completely stopped working.
And then your left arm is fine?
No, it's going. Yeah, I feel like maybe a few more months and I won't have my left hand either. It's sobering.
He says he's walking fine, but thinking about his legs.
Is that what you're worried about next, your leg?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about my legs.
And always on his mind, his family with actress Rebecca Gayheart. The couple once separated, but now are close. Their 2 daughters are 13 and 15 years old. He says he is going to keep fighting this disease for the life he loves every single day.
I don't think this is the end of my story. I just don't feel like, in my heart, I don't feel like this is the end of me. I mean, I really, at the end of the day, just all I want to do is spend time with my family and work a little bit if I can.
And make sure that you tell them that you love them.
Every day. Every day. They're loved. They know it.
Eric Dane and his bravery. Diane back on GMA tomorrow with Eric and his doctor, what we can all learn about ALS. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.